Hi everyone, welcome to Uniquely Me with Simone Stewart. Let's start out. Happy New Year! And of course, Happy New Year to Uniquely Me with Simone Stewart. Guys, this is season 3 and we are going exclusively on YouTube for this season. First, let me thank you for staying with us and to all my guests that have made this program what it has become. We have become a household name. So, guys, today we are going to focus a little on domestic abuse. And of course, here we talk about women and the trials and the traumas and the struggles that they have been through. Sure enough, our women are resilient and strong. And so, guys, if you've not yet subscribed, I'm going to ask you to pause a minute, subscribe, click that bell, and make sure that you're staying tuned to all the episodes we have coming up. But right now, guys, sit back, relax. I have a very interesting guest for you. As I said, we're going to be talking about domestic violence. And it was said in my research that between 2001 and 2012, 45% more women were being abused and subjected to hard crimes compared to the troops in Afghanistan. Are you serious? Can you believe that? But our guest, she's going to tell us a little bit more about what it has been like surviving domestic abuse. What did she do during those times? And guys, I have this question for you. Does once abused means always abused? We're going to hear. Stay tuned.
Uniquely me is uniquely you. Balancing the different hats of life, achieving all your goals in the name of Christ. Uniquely me is uniquely you. You can do anything. With the S on your chest, you can do all things through Christ who gives you strength. You are a winner and you're an overcomer. You can be all things through Christ who gives you strength.
So help me make welcome Christine Atherton. But look here, that's too much for me. Auntie Rosie. Welcome to Uniquely Me with Simone Stewart.
Thank you, Auntie Simone.
Happy New Year for starters.
Thank
And
you.
Auntie Rosie, I have to just tell everybody, I can't help myself. You're good with the cooking. Look here. Guys, she made my New Year absolutely fabulous. Some fried dumpling with ackee and saltfish, and not to mention the roti and the curry goat. So, you know me, I set you up. Well, Auntie Rosie, as I said, thanks so much for coming. Before we jump into all of it, tell us a little bit who is Auntie Rosie or who is Christine Atherton?
Where do I start, Auntie Simone? Um, I was born on the 4th of July, 1972. Born and raised in Montego Bay. I attended King's Chapel Pentecostal Church for the most part of my life. So, I have a godly side. Um, I have 2 sisters, 3 brothers. My mother and father are now deceased.
Yeah.
But who is Auntie Rosie? I'm just a cool girl, easygoing. I have a big heart. I love family, I love people, and I'll only get misery if I mess up my place.
So you and I had a talk, of course, on New Year's night, talking about some things that we have in common. Some people call us germaphobe or that we're germophobic and that kind of thing. But what made you, well, we're not that. It's just that we like neatness. But just tell us a little, or as a matter of fact, when we, how would you put it now? The whole matter, we like our place neat and tidy and that kind of thing. And we like to see the plate wash up, and if the plate doesn't wash up, we can't sleep in our bed. But I thought something was wrong with me, but then I heard you with it. What do you think is the issue with us, Auntie Rosie?
Um, I think because of how we feel when the place is messed up, then we always have to be cleaning. We always have to be cleaning. I don't like to see mud.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
that's
don't like to
me.
see a wet, dirty place.
Mm-hmm.
If I cook the porridge, I won't use my hand to clean the porridge out of the pot when it's ready to be washed. I have to get something and scrape out that can't touch my hand. As much as I consumed it, then what is left in the pot,
Yeah.
no.
So like I tell persons that if I'm going like say rainfall and I need to go outside, I'm not going to use a simple
No,
flip flop.
no. Sneakers is good.
A sneakers,
As long as your
exactly.
foot don't get wet, or no, I'm good. I'm good with the sneakers.
Exactly. So that's me. But Auntie Rosie, our conversation went down a little path. That's one of the things we want to talk about. The whole matter of childhood growing up and how it seems as if some of the things that happened in childhood would have followed you into adulthood. But talk a little about your childhood. What was that like? What was it like playing with your siblings and mommy and daddy?
I think that was the best part of childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Having my siblings around, I grew up with two brothers.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like a tomboy. Mommy always tell me when I'm ready to wash my underwear, they'll take days to soak.
Mm-hmm.
Because mommy said me look like myself coal at the market. Because anywhere the boys sit, anything the boys do, I'm there. If
Mm-hmm.
it's to go down in the gully, climb a tree, run the truck.
Mm-hmm.
I never wanted dolls.
Oh.
I'd have a doll. I had a doll, and I love that doll.
Mm-hmm.
But then my brother made the best of it. My brothers made the best of that doll. They punch the eyes and the face in, and so. And they'll just do stuff to make me cry. But when it come on to caring and playing and the gun war, and that was the best part of childhood.
So you were not the typical girly
No,
girl.
no, I still am not.
Yeah.
I still climb tree. I still climb the tree. I climb the breadfruit tree. I climb the mango tree.
Mm-hmm.
I hop on the van back. I like to do boy stuff.
Okay. But how was your relationship with mommy and daddy? Or what was a matter of fact before you even get there, what was their relationship like?
Um, no, mommy and daddy relationship was not good. I think I can remember back as far as 3 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't remember my father ever putting my hand around my mother in a loving way,
Yeah.
or probably kissing her. Or it wasn't good.
Mm-hmm.
My father was always in a war,
Yeah.
and I think when I got the history of how we grew up,
Mm-hmm.
he went through the same thing. But
Oh.
I've always told myself I don't want to live how they live.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that probably he could have made a difference here if he had told himself the same thing,
Yeah.
you know. But it wasn't good. The relationship between mommy and daddy was not good.
Yeah. Do you think that relationship, the fact that they were not having a good relationship, spilled over on you, both yourself and your siblings?
Um, I wouldn't say it spilled over on me and my siblings. Probably me more than anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
I have a brother who is married from about 97.
Mm-hmm.
He still has a good marriage. My big sister, she's married, and she still has a good marriage. I mean, everybody have a little complaint, but they're still doing well.
Mm-hmm.
Me, for the most part, I think I spent too much time with mommy and daddy because as soon as they got to a certain age, they left.
Mm.
But I was still there. I felt like I was somewhat responsible for mommy.
Yeah.
So, mommy had three of us 3 years straight.
Mm-hmm.
The first one died. She had a baby 71. I was 72. I have a brother born 73.
Wow.
And then I have another brother born 76.
Mm.
And it's the three of us that grew up together. I was always the one who had to stay home when mommy got sick.
Mm-hmm.
When she pregnant and to go have her baby, I always had to stay home and take care of the smaller one.
Mm-hmm.
So for the most part, I was responsible for everybody.
Yeah.
So I think I got a blunt at everything more than everybody else. And probably with the heart that I have, I never had much resistance to it.
Yeah. But daddy seemed to, amidst the relationship that they were having children.
Yeah.
But somewhere in there, like our conversation went, there seemed to have been some abuse extended to you guys as children. Is there any one particular time that stands out in your mind that you would want to share with us?
There are so many outstanding. I remember I was about 7 years old, and we were all getting ready to go to church. And my mother was behind because, she had to get ready everybody, get the baby ready. And she said to my father, all right, just take the two older kids, which would be me and my brother Monty, and just go ahead. I'll come after. And he made it clear he wouldn't walk with me. You know what? Me know we're in there.
So hold on. Are you saying that your daddy's on his way to church
Yeah.
and he doesn't want you as his daughter? How did you feel? Can you remember how you felt during that time?
It was heartbreaking
Yeah.
because then my brother would have gone with him, and that was my favorite brother. And the only one I could have communicated with. So my brother left me, and I had to stay and wait on mommy, which wasn't a problem, but just the mere fact that my father never wanted me where he is. And I remember growing up all my life, I always tried to do everything to impress him. I wanted his love, so I do everything you could have possibly think of.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Another one was, I went up to my auntie's house and I'd asked her for $10. And she gave it to me, and I don't know how he found out that I got $10 from my auntie. And he came in my room the night and he said to me, why am I going to ask my auntie for $10? I think I wanted to buy sweets. And I couldn't answer. And he used his left hand and gave me one box in my face. In the middle of the night, I wake up, the whole of my pillow full of blood.
Wow.
Because what happened is that my teeth had busted my gum and I didn't know.
My God.
So my face was all swollen. And he came, when I woke up in the morning, he came in my room and I think he came to give me another one. And he saw my face and he stepped back and looked. And he had asked me if he was the one who did that. And I said, yes. And he walked up to me and just used his hand to rub my face.
Oh my God.
And I think he was sorry. And that's the only time I think I ever saw my father sorry. So that
Oh.
was one that stood out.
Yeah.
That's the only time I think he was ever sorry he had hit me. Because more than anybody else all my life, I got the most beaten. I got anything he caught. The hose, fan belt that he used on his machine, light wire, anything he caught.
Auntie Rosie, the question, because honestly, that really reached my heart. Was there any point in time there that, what did your mom do when she saw stuff like those happen?
She tried. She would try to defend us in every way. But then in defending us, she got hit too. She was not to intervene when he was going to put down his hand. She was not to intervene.
Okay.
So she got hit. She got her share.
Yeah.
But there was not much she could do because in those days, police never took domestic violence seriously.
Yes. Yeah.
They come, they say, okay, so you need to work it out and whatever. But there was no help for us.
Yeah. Yeah. At what point in time Did your mom ever leave?
Yes, mommy left. I think she was waiting for me and my brother to be out of high school before she left. So she took the three smallest kids and she left. She went back to St. Mary to live with her family.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are just tuning in, this is Uniquely Me with Simone Stewart, and we are looking at domestic violence. My guest today, Christine Atherton, otherwise known as Auntie Rosie, sharing her childhood and being physically abused by her dad. And of course, it wasn't just her, it was also her mom and other siblings. When we come back, we're going to hear, did this kind of abuse, did it continue as she got older? Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Who am I really? Choices, choices, choices. In pursuit of a career? OMG, I'm a wife. Help! I am a mother. Oh, I'm in church. When do I get to be a woman that God called me to be? Uniquely Me covers the acrobatic endeavors of every woman to balance the responsibilities of being a mother, a wife, a professional, a church leader, a friend, yet still maintain her identity. I too am a mother, a wife, a trained minister of religion, a banker, an entrepreneur trying to balance the many hats that signifies my role. My book will help motivate and empower every woman who is really unique in her own way. Grab your copy today on Amazon, because Uniquely Me is uniquely you.
Thank you for tuning in to Uniquely Me with Simone Stewart. Remember, Uniquely Me is uniquely you.
Welcome back to Uniquely Me with Simone Stewart. On set, I have with me Christine Atherton, otherwise called Auntie Rosie, and we're looking today on the whole matter of domestic abuse. I asked a question earlier. Does once abused means always abused? You would have heard Christine share her story of being abused by her dad. But something about it, despite the abuse, she loved him. She wanted his approval. Auntie Rosie, did that approval from Daddy, did it ever come?
No.
So you got older and you moved on. You got married. But what happened?
All right. My first relationship that I was in, I got a child from that relationship. But I seem to have a problem with control. When somebody wants to control who I talk to, where I go, how much time I spend with family.
Yeah.
And I had to come out of that relationship.
Right.
It was rough, it was hard. Because then you have all the drama surrounding a breakup. And I had to endure that one.
Yeah.
2 years after that relationship, I went into another relationship. This time I got married, but I got married about 6 years into the relationship, which should have been more than enough time to get it right. But then, see all the ghost and the litter and everything until you go into marriage.
Yeah.
I had a child in that relationship too. Wasn't good either.
Yeah.
It was the same thing. And I keep asking myself, is it me? Is it the choice that I make?
Yeah.
And if so, why? Why do I make that choice? It's the male talking down to you as if you're a child. And I find it, I can't deal with that one. It's pointing your finger, you don't listen. You don't listen when people talk to you. I'm not a child. this one was more than the first one because then this one got physical.
Yeah.
Other than verbal, it was very physical. My husband was a policeman,
Yeah.
and just a simple argument would trigger him off to want to draw his gun, you know, and fire shot in my ears. Sometimes 3 weeks, 4 weeks, my ears were numb.
Yeah.
And I think, call me stupid, probably foolish, probably tell me I have no sense. But at the same time, I didn't want to report him because he would have lost his job.
Yeah.
What would he go back to, you know? And I think that is one of the things that held me back from reporting him more than one time. If I just simply just hug the TV because my favorite star was on the TV, I get hurt.
Yeah.
You know, just for admiring Denzel Washington. You know? I couldn't bring up my daughters through that one.
Yeah.
So I had to leave. I left.
But just before you left, Auntie Rosie, there was an incident that you shared with me that I'd love us to talk about. Because one wonders, you know, does the abuse, does it take place in front of the children?
Yes, it does.
And there's an incident that you shared with me. I don't know, two incidents actually. Of one, the person who lived, the what you call it, the neighbor who came to ask you a question.
No, it wasn't my neighbor. We had share a house with one of his co-worker, so as to make the rent less,
Right.
you know. His co-worker was in the kitchen making dinner for his girlfriend, and we were sitting in the living room watching TV, and the co-worker called me, you know, just, you know, cry excuse for a minute, and he wanted to ask me something. So I went into the kitchen, and he had asked me, do you have Kool-Aid? Because I need to make some drink, but my girlfriend not here, so when she come back, she'll bring it back. And I, you know, I gave him the Kool-Aid, and I stepped out of the kitchen. And returning to the living room, my husband said, can I talk to you in the bedroom? So I said, fine. So he took me into the room, closed the door, and asked me, why did he call you? So I said, he was only asking for me to lend him Kool-Aid. And he just used his 2 fingers and just poked my 2 eyes. And I screamed for the most part because I couldn't see. No, I tried to open my eyes and I couldn't see.
Yeah.
So at one point I'm thinking, have I lost my eyesight? To the you know? And you wake up the next day and he apologizes and he's being nice for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
And you think somehow you kind of forget about it until the next incident.
The next incident I want us to talk about, that was that one where you said he threw you across the room in the presence of your daughter.
While being married, you know, you're the bigger one.
Yeah.
You're the older, not really the oldest, but I have 4 brothers and sisters after me. So you don't want them to know that you're going through this because you somehow feel you probably lose their respect. The way they look up to you, probably them have relationship problems. They're going to come to you. They're going to want some advice. What are you going to tell them? What can you tell them with you in your situation? So I never told anyone. I kept it to myself. This particular morning, my husband woke up. I think he had a bad belly and was in the bathroom. My daughter, my first daughter, was supposed to get out at 7 o'clock to go catch a bus to go to school. He was in the bathroom up to 7:30. So my daughter never did get to shower. So I went to the door and I knocked the door because I didn't know something was happening. He never said anything to me. So I knocked the door and I said, you know, Rakin, I haven't showered yet to go to school. And he was up and out of the bathroom within 5 minutes on top of his voice. this is my house, this is my bathroom, and I can go in and go sit down if I want all day. And so the argument ensued, and I took up the phone and I called my big sister because no, I have to tell somebody, you know. And I said to her, I just took up the phone, dial her number, and I said, sister, listen this. And I put down the phone and put it under the sheet. And he was there for about 15 minutes. My younger daughter was about 4 years old.
Which is his daughter.
Which is his daughter. And she sat there. And I took up the phone. When he started going extra now, I took up the phone. And I said to my sister, I said, see what I've been telling you? See? Because nobody, he was so much of a calm person. He was, you know, the calm machines type of person. You know, they don't speak. You never hear them use indecent language, but he was all of that.
Yeah.
And so after I said that to my sister, he realized I had somebody on the other line. And he grabbed for the phone, I locked the phone and put it under my arm and locked my arm tight so he couldn't get the phone because I know he would have broken the phone. And because he couldn't get the phone, he chopped me to the wall and then he just took me up and just fling me right across the room because he's like 6'2" and I'm 5'2".
Right.
So he's tall. And he just threw me across the room and I got up and I started crying. I said to him, I said, in front of the baby? Him said no business. He said, I don't care. I don't care. I said, okay. And I said to him, I said, remember this. Remember you said that. Remember you said right in front of her because I know she understands.
Yeah.
And now my daughter is 20 and she's never forgotten it.
Wow. So we're seeing the impact of domestic violence, that it's really not just about us. You know, and like you said, you would have shared, you know, just remembering what your mom went through, and it seems as if it's coming through the lines. But here's my question, Auntie Rosie, and I've asked this question every time. Why stay? You know, when you've noticed what happened, why not leave?
You have so much to protect. You have, I left daddy's house to go live with somebody and know it's going to go and you're going to have to go back home.
Yeah.
And come on. It's not going to be anything good. You're not going to get daddy opening his arms and say, I'm glad you're home, or you're safe here.
Yeah.
Because then he probably would have, he's going to do the same thing. Because even as big as I was, and my father had strength, I still got abused.
Yeah.
I still got hit with a shovel. You know, even when I was big and having kids. So it's like jumping out of a frying pan and jumping right into the fire.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that you don't want to leave, but then you think, okay, so you had a relationship and you had a child from that relationship, and so you jump into this one, you had another baby, what you going to do? Have the third relationship, have another baby, get the fourth relationship, have another baby. So you wanted to say, let me see how hard I can work to make this work.
Right.
You know, and so you do everything. And one of the things I realized that the same way I was afraid of my father, it's the same I was afraid of my husband.
Yeah.
You know? It's wondering if you're doing something and you're doing it right, because you know it's going to cause a fuss. So anything to avoid a fuss. But it's not that he wanted to stay. My husband, I went to a cousin's funeral. And when I reached back home, I got locked out of the house at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
It was actually a dead yard. And my brother, my sister, we went there. And when they dropped me home, they were just in time to see me opening the gate, but the gate couldn't open.
Yeah.
So I told them I was okay because I didn't want them to know I got locked out.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't have been good. And my husband locked me out of the house at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
He knew where I was. He could walk. He could walk from there. He never did. But he locked me out. I had to call my neighbor down the road to ask her to just put me until morning.
Yeah.
You know, I had to sleep on a bed with 4 little kids. When my husband and my daughter is locked up in the house right up the road.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not that you want to leave, stuff happen, you want to leave, but you step out, but then you realize where you're going.
Yeah.
It's not no different.
Auntie Rosie, I have a question, and from all indication, we're going to have to do a part 2 on this because there's so much that we want to cover. But thank you so much for joining me with Uniquely Me with Simone Stewart. We are coming back with a part 2, and so I'm going to ask you stay tuned.
Who am I really? Choices, choices, choices. In pursuit of a career? OMG, I'm a wife. Help! I am a mother. Oh, I'm in church. When do I get to be a woman that God called me to be? Uniquely Me covers the acrobatic endeavors of every woman to balance the responsibilities of being a mother, a wife, a professional, a church leader, a friend, yet still maintain her identity. I too am a mother, a wife, a trained minister of religion, a banker, an entrepreneur trying to balance the many hats that signifies my role. My book will help motivate and empower every woman who is really unique in her own way. Grab your copy today on Amazon because Uniquely Me is uniquely you.
Thank you for tuning in to Uniquely Me with Simone Stewart. Remember, Uniquely Me is uniquely you.